gave the script to Mel Sunday. Monday, I get a phone call saying Mel wants to meet with you on Wednesday. So I'm practicing. I was nervous. It was the first. I don't get nervous so often. I grew up in North Jersey in Hell's Kitchen, and it takes a lot to get me nervous. But I was, and I thought, okay, how am I gonna? When I introduce myself, should I say like, "Oh, it's good to be the king," or "The Inquisition"? All I did was shake his hand and say, "Nice to meet you." And I sit down at a table, and Mel starts pacing. I bet you think this is the best script ever written. I bet you think this is the best fucking script that's ever been written in the world. And I said, well, Mel, I'm hard on my work. I reread it before I came here, and I still think it needs some work. Oh yeah, how much work does it need? I said, I think it's about 75% ready to shoot, a shooting draft. And then he said, okay, yeah, but that other 25% is a lot of work. So we started talking, and he said, if you could have anything you want, what would it be? I said, anything? He's like, anything. I said, you produce it, I direct it. That's not going to happen. So he goes, okay, kid. He started calling me kid or the kid. Okay, kid, get out of the office. I'll think about it. By the time I got home, I had a message on my machine. For those of you who don't know, there used to be these machines that would give messages to people. And it was from Mel's assistant. Can you call? Mel wants to talk to you. Call up. Do you want to have lunch tomorrow? Yeah, of course. Okay. So we had lunch and ended up, the rest is history.
Wow.
Although there's a lot I can go on and on and on about stories. Here's one of my favorite ones. We're at the commissary one day, and I'm blanking on his name, James Bond. Sir Sean Connery joins us. So chatting. And then Mel says, oh yeah, I'm doing this movie, Robin Hood Men in Tights. And then, so I say to Sean, you should play King Richard. Now Mel looked at me like, Jesus Christ, this kid has balls. And Sean goes, well, I've played Robin Hood, Lottie. I said, yeah, in Robin and Marion, I know it well. And he was, I think, a little impressed, and I knew it. And he takes a moment and he goes, what if I play Queen Richard? I'm like, Queen Richard? What do you mean? He goes, now come in as Queen Richard. I had dress and a tiara and earrings. I'm going, oh, Robin, oh, Robin. And I'm like, are you being serious? He's like, yeah, I think you'll be last. It'll be great. And I'm like, holy fucking shit, this is the greatest thing in the fucking world. I'm going to have, when you talk about a man's man, I mean, through the history of time, who is there? John Wayne, somebody else, and Sean Connery.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
And Mark Rickard.
So, what? And yes, of course.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you want real man.
That's true, but he wasn't available at the time, and he was only 10. So I'm super excited, and then it went off the rails because Mel was we went back to the office and Ann was there, Ann Bancroft, his wife, and when Mel said, "Oh, we just had lunch," with
I love
Connery,
that you just said Ann was there, like, yeah, no big, like I talk about Richie. You're talking about.
What did she say?
I'm from Hollywood. Actually, if I know someone, I don't even have to say Ann. I can just say was there. If I'm sitting in the same restaurant, like I was sitting in the same restaurant once with Brad Pitt. Now I know people will say I had dinner with Brad Pitt. I won't go that far, but because I was in the same restaurant and he walked past me, I can just say, bruh. So it's a Hollywood thing, And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to name drop, but if I know someone,
you sound drop.
Friends of Anne. What?
You sound drop. You don't name drop. You just sound drop.
Syllable drop.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. So was really flustered that Sure was there, and when she left, Mel was really jealous. And then ultimately, the studio was excited. Sean Connery's agent wanted $1 million for the day. It was like, done. The studio would have put up the extra money. And then Mel blew it out of the water. And ultimately, I thought it was because of Anne, but Mel didn't want the attention. He knew that this would be such a talked about ending that Sean Connery in the movie would take over from him. And so that ended that.
You know,
This close to having Sean Connery in a dress in my movie. Oh, Robin,